like to, so now I would like to introduce Dr. Hemant Kumara, who is the Assistant Professor of the Psychology in the Rewa University. His topic is the importance of the life skills in the present context.
Namita.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so
Over to you, sir.
okay, let me share my PPT first. I'm coordinator, Department of Psychology, Rewa University, Bangalore. So today I'm going to talk about the importance of life skills in the present context. So right now we are many people are facing a lot of psychological issues. So because of COVID-19 and all other factors, there are a lot of factors which are influencing on human beings, and because of that, they are facing a lot of issues. So what is the importance of life skill in the present context? So there is much needed. So this is what we are lacking, in our young generation. So this is what I'm just focusing on some of the few points over here. So some of the topics that I'm going to cover in this PPT is some of the characteristics of youth development, identify what are the life skills which they are needed, and explain the components of experiential learning model, and discuss the methods which help youth develop what are the different life skills and benefits of those life skills. So first, so what is the life skill? Before I move on to discussing about the life skills, so in a constantly changing environment, having life skills is an essential part of being able to meet the challenges and demands of everyday life. So that when we move on from day to day, so we are facing a lot of issues and a lot of challenges. So to face the challenges and demands of the society or demands of the life, so we need to focus on we need to have that particular life skills, or which are also considered as life competencies, which are very much essential nowadays. So due to the dramatic changes in global economies over the past 5 years, which have been matched with the transformation of technology, and these are all impacting on education, so the workplace and home life. So you might have and as a students, they're facing a lot of issues. As a people who are working in the organization, also they're facing a lot of issues, and also at home, at house also. So we are facing a lot of issues. So because of that, we need to acquire the particular life skills to cope up with the situations. To cope up with the increasing pace and change of modern life, students need new life skills, such as the ability to deal with stress and frustration. So in everyday life, we undergo stress, we undergo frustration. So to come out of this stress and frustration, so what exactly we require? So which is again we can stress on life skills. And today students will have many jobs over the course of their lives, so which associated with pressures and need for flexibility. So for that also we require life skills. This is just a brief gist of why life skills are important. So now I'll move on to the topic is youth development approach. So where when we talk in terms of youth development approach, so focus on positive outcomes designed for youth, not in negative outcomes to prevent, and provide programs that are available to all young people. And youth are seen as central actors in their own development, and develop the whole person, not just a single characteristic or problem. So when we talk in terms of all these points, so when we see a person, so we should not look into one particular characteristic of an individual. So where we need to concentrate on the entire person. So what are the strengths and what are the weaknesses? And when we concentrate on these two points together particularly, so then we can concentrate on the negative, what are the negative points that the person has, and make those negative points into positive. So for that we need to understand this some of the characteristics of youth, and so some of the master competencies for productive adult life. So when we teach them life skills, so they acquire the competencies which required for their productive adult life in the future. So right now, if we impart life skills, so training to the people who are in adolescent age, so that will be helpful in their future, so they can lead their life with positive way. So something not done to youth. So whatever we do for our youth, or for our young generation, so we should not do something to the youth people, but result from programming with youth. So that means we have to work with the youth people. We have to work with the adolescent people, so they can learn easily. And so which has been guided by caring, knowledgeable adults, which is depending on the family and other adults in the community. And to master skills, young people need safety and structure, sense of belonging and membership, closeness and several good relationships, experience of gaining competence and mastering skills. And with those points, independence and control over some part of their lives, self-awareness, which and ability and opportunities to act on that understanding, and a sense of self-worth, ability and opportunities to contribute. So these are some of the important aspects which could be required to lead a good life. And when I move on to the next particular aspect of positive youth development, so it is an intentional process which promotes positive outcomes for young people, and which provides opportunities, relationships, and support to fully participate, and takes place in family, peer groups, schools, neighborhoods, and communities. And when it comes to this approaches to youth development, so there are three approaches we can look at here. So one is prevention, and the second one is education, and the third one is youth development. So when it comes to prevention, so we need to focus on risk factors. So risk factors, skills and knowledge when it comes to education, and when it comes to youth and development, we focus on developmental needs. And when it comes to the target under prevention, social norms. So what are the social norms? So as a social being we are, so we need to abide by the social norms which are there. Social norms are social values. So we should not go beyond the social values or social norms. And when it comes to education, that individual learners. So we target an individual person. So when it comes to education, and when it comes to youth development, we target on opportunities for youth. So what are the different kinds of opportunities which are available for youth people? And then, so what is the goal of prevention? That is fewer problems. Fewer problems. Problem means when we give them training in terms of life competencies or life skills, so which can reduce their problems. And then when it comes to education, competency in knowledge and skills, so we can impart knowledge and skill in the youth. And when it comes to youth development, so maturity and potential we look for. So these are all some of the approaches to youth development. So when it comes to understanding the different approaches, so where the community, family and peers, school, workplace, and leisure, these are all some of the influential factors. And when it comes to education focus, so here are some of the contextual influences. So wherein competencies, physical or health or physical aspects, personal social aspects, cognitive or creative aspects, and the occasional and citizenship. So these are all some of the factors which are influenced when it comes to educational focus. And when it comes to youth development, so where some of the needs, what are the particular needs that our young generation need? That is physiological need, safety and secure, structure, so belongingness and membership, closeness and raw relationships, competency or mastery, independence or control over one's life, self-worth or contribution, capacity to enjoy life. And these are all factors which are influencing on the below three concepts which I mentioned here, that is cognitive changes, psychosocial changes, biological and physical changes. So then when it comes to that life skill development, so what are the different types of life skills which can be given to our younger generation? So when we talk in terms of the meaning of life skills, which are competencies that can help people function well in their environment, so which can help people to meet the demands and challenges in their lives, so which are learned in sequential steps which are related to their age and developmental stage. So there are, so for example, when it comes to children, their life skills are different. When it comes to adolescents, their life skills are different. But when it comes to adults, so their skills are different. So at certain age, at different age group, so different types of life skills should be given. Then acquired through learn by doing activities. So all the different types of life skills. So earlier when we are studying, no one has taught us what exactly that life skills, what are the different types of life skills we should acquire. We learned by ourselves, but in present generation they're lacking because of the technology development or because of lot of many factors. So because of that, what are the different types of life skills which can impart, which can be given to our young generation to lead their life good? And this is a wheel where I've mentioned four different types of four different quadrants. One is heart, hands, health, and head. So through which we can acquire and we can contribute the life skills. So when it comes to head, so what are the different types of life skills which we can acquire through head? So which basically focuses on managing and thinking. So where it talks about resiliency, keeping records, wise use of resources, planning or organizing, and goal setting, service learning, critical thinking, problem solving, decision making, and learning to learn. So these are the different types of life skills which we can acquire through head, which in terms of brain. And when it comes to the second quadrant, so where heart. So what are the different types of life skills which we can acquire through heart? So that is nurturing relationships, sharing empathy, concern for others, accepting differences, conflict resolution, social skills, cooperation, and communication. And when it comes to hands, so community service, volunteering, leadership, responsible citizenship, contribution to group effort, marketable skills, teamwork, and self-motivation. And when it comes to the last quadrant, fourth quadrant, which talks about health, so which can be spoken in terms of living and being. So where it talks about self-esteem, self-responsibility, character, managing feelings, self-discipline, healthy lifestyle and choices, stress management, disease prevention, and personal safety. And when it comes to that experiential learning model, so how can we learn things? So how can we acquire things? So this is a process for youth to learn through a carefully planned experience followed by a leader-led discussion questions. So which is basically focuses on learn by doing. So whatever we learn in our day-to-day life, so what we remember. So we remember 10% of what we read. So we read a lot of things in a day, but so we remember only 10% of what we read, and 20% of what we hear. And we hear a lot of things in our day-to-day life. So out of which, whatever we heard in a day, throughout a day, so we can remember only 20% of that, and 30% of what we see, and 50% of what we see and hear, and 70% of what we see, hear, and discuss. And most of the 90% what we can remember is what we see, what we hear, what we discuss, and what we practice. So whatever we see, hear, and discuss, when these things implemented in our practice, so then only we can remember a lot of things. So this is a picture of least learning and most learning. So least learning, what we learn in a printed matter. So we teach individuals. We teach individuals whatever is there in the book sometimes. So which is not which is not meeting the goal of the students. So basically, where we will not giving a justice to the students only if we teach whatever is there printed in the book. So we need to focus on other aspects. So there are some of the aspects that are mentioned here. So if you focus on all these aspects, so obviously students will acquire more knowledge, and they can also implement in their practical life. So this is an experiential learning model, what I put here. So experience, so that is experience the activity what we do. So through activity what we do in our everyday life, we experience that. So whatever we experience, if we share the results, reactions, or observations publicly, so then they can also experience. And once we share that process by discussing, looking at the experience, reflecting, and then generalize to connect the experience to the real world examples, and then apply what was learned to a similar and different situation practice. So through which, so we can learn. So this is some of the slides which are related to experiential model. And then debriefing the activity. So when we give our life skills training to the people, so debriefing allows members to complete their learning from the activity. So during life skills training, so not only impart whatever is been printed in a book, so do with a lot of activities, so which can bring a lot of experiences to the individuals. And leaders should be well prepared for the debriefing and build in adequate time for members to reflect on their experiences, listen to youth carefully, and most important outcome is members demonstrate new knowledge gain and practice targeted life skill. And what are the different types of methods we can use to help the youth develop their life skills? So when is activity manuals, so that we get anywhere activity manuals, so through which we can give life skills training to the people. And demonstrations of public speaking, so we can give a demonstration to the people and how to speak in a public, or else so we can make them to speak in a public. So nowadays most of the people, they're hesitating to speak in front of public, so we can also give them training in that. And judging events, skillathons where we can impart in different types of skills in the adolescents or in the people, so through which so they can also implement those skills in their real life experiences. And project workshops, so instead of teaching, so make them to practice whatever they learn through the printed book, so let them implement those principles in their project, so that can bring a lot of experience them. And educational trips, so educational trips to the organizations or industries or other aspects, so which can give them a lot of experiences through which they can also learn a lot of things, and resume building, and then camp counselors. And when it comes to the benefits of life skills, benefits for these benefits of life skills can be divided into three: benefits for individuals, and benefits for employment, and benefits for the society. So when we talk in terms of benefits of individuals, so in everyday life, the development of life skills helps students to find new ways of thinking and problem solving, and recognize the impact of their actions. Teaches them to take responsibility for what they do rather than blame others, and build confidence both in spoken skills and for group collaboration and cooperation. Analyze options, make decisions, and understand why they make certain choices outside the classroom, and develop a greater sense of self-awareness and appreciation for others. And when it comes to benefits for employment, if once they complete their education and they get into their job, and what is the need of acquiring life skills? So while students work hard to get good grades, many still struggle to gain employment. So because of what? So even in the mass cut, they are at the topper level, but so when it comes to the skills, they are zero. So whose mistake is this? So when we talk in terms of that, it is a mistake of the teachers, or it is the mistake of the parents. So it should not be done. So because of that, we should be, as a teachers or as a parents, we should concentrate on teaching them what are the skills which are required, so to lead their life. So according to research, employers research, they're looking not just only academic success, but key employability skills, which are including the ability to self-manage, solve problems, and understand the business environment, and working well as a part of team, time and people management, agility and adaptability to different roles and flexible working environments, and the potential to lead by influence. And when it comes to the benefits for the society, so the more we develop life skills individually, so the more these affect and benefit the world in which we live. Recognizing cultural awareness and citizenship makes national or international cooperation easier. Respecting diversity, which allows creativity and imagination to flourish, developing a more tolerant society, and developing negotiation skills, the ability to network and empathize, which can help to build resolutions rather than resentments. So these are all some of the things which could be focused when we are giving life skills training to any people. So as a life skills trainer, so we have found a lot of issues in the present generation, and we are focusing on that. So if you have any clarifications, or if you have any questions, you can ask me.
Dr. Hemanta.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Hemanta, you are listening me?
Yes, sir. I'm listening to you.
Yeah, very good presentation. I would like to ask one clarification that you might have seen the life skill given by WHO. So
yeah, that is. Yeah.
Just listen to my question, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell me, sir.
How, if you compare the WHO life skill and yours, and which one is better one, and how?
Sir, in the life skills which are presented here, so which are also included, what WHO has made 10 important life skills, which are also included in the life skills wheel which I mentioned there. So I'm not living the life skills which have been proposed by WHO. So which are also included in the life skills, because what exactly the present generation needs. So in each and every sector, they need to acquire skills. So that is what made all these skills together, including WHO skills.
Can you tell me that
yes,
only
sir?
2 life? Can you just tell me only 2 life skill is very, very important if we leave other 8 one? 2 very, very important life skill which can mold our behavior.
One is self-awareness. Another
yes,
one is
sir.
coping with emotions and stress.
Okay, I think that's number 1. Coping with the emotions and stress, this is very important, and self-understanding and self-awareness. That's good, sir. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, about your guidance about the positivity and the life skills, development, stress, about the stress management. As we all are dealing with the stress and the negativity in our life, we are not taking everything positive. So thank you so much, sir, for guidance, for giving us the guidance about these things. Thank you so much.